Can you guess the colour theme for today's thrift haul? Now, did you watch the video I recently posted about the Christmas vintage market I went to at Penshurst? Well, after I went to Penshurst, my friends and I went to the charity shop in Tunbridge Wells. And by this time it was early afternoon. We stopped for lunch and we went to the charity shops. And by the time we'd finished shopping, some of the charity shops had closed. So if you are going somewhere specifically to go charity shop shopping, I would strongly advise that you check the opening times. So some of the charity shops will hold normal retail hours, 9 to 5, but quite often, because they're run by volunteers, you may find their closing time range from anything from 2:30, 3 on to 4:30, and some of them might even open a little bit late in the morning. So we didn't get to see all the charity shops in Tunbridge Wells, and top tip, always look on your Google Maps, charity shops near me, and it will give you a guided tour around the shops. So we parked in a multi-storey car park and walked through into the shopping mall, Victoria Arcade, I think it was called. There was a lovely charity shop in there. It was all vintage curated. And then we walked out through town. We headed towards the Pantiles. So I was saying, if you're going to Tunbridge Wells, you kind of need to decide whether you're going to shop or whether you're going for lunch and art galleries, because the Pantiles is a short walk from the main shopping area. But if you parked at the top end of town at the shopping centre, you've then got to walk uphill to go back. So you might just want to plan out what you're going to do. So I have got you noticed when I went to the Penshurst Christmas Fair that I had a very red and green shopping experience there. And today I'm decidedly blue. So let's have a look and see what I got. But before we do, why have I got my green Davison glass bowl here? Well, do you remember that I turned it over and I showed you the patent number on the back? My fingers will find it there. And I called out the numbers for you, written here. So I looked them up online and I have discovered that my flower frog isn't actually meant for this container. It fits, but can you see that inside there are these sort of shallow cutouts, one there, and one there, because the flower frog that would have originally gone with the container would have had little lugs on the side, so little added bits on the side, in order that it fitted exactly into the bottom of the container and locked in place. And apparently, not only did it lock in place, it locked in place so well that sometimes it was difficult to remove the flower frog. And that is why it's always so interesting to look up the things you've bought, because every day can be a learning day. So I didn't set out to buy everything that was blue. It just happened that way. So let's start with the rolling pin. I have bought this rolling pin. I think it was £1.50. I've got the bit of string there that had the price on. This would be a children's rolling pin. And I'm kicking myself really, because my daughter had a rolling pin not so dissimilar to this when she liked to play with her Play-Doh, and also when she helped me cooking, sort of making little things with the offcuts of my pastry. So I'm rather regretting that I got rid of her rolling pin to the charity shop a lot of years ago. And why have I bought myself a replacement rolling pin? Well, I bought it for my craft box, because sometimes my friends and I do crafting with air drying clay, and it's a bit of a lumber if you are going on holiday in a caravan to do a weekend of crafting, if you've got to take your full-size rolling pin with you. So that's why I've bought it, is for my next caravan holiday excursion with my friends, when we do a weekend of crafting and the charity shops. So you never know, I might get some use for that before Christmas. The next one here is, I'm rather hoping at this stage that my daughter isn't watching this video, and she won't be, because she has very firm opinions on what I film. And I've bought her this for her Christmas stocking. So it's practically I think it is as new. And this came, I'm just going to move those out of the way. I'll show you those in a minute. They don't fit precisely with my theme, but they're going to be another gift for her. So I think this was in the charity shop, Hospice of the Weald, I'm going to guess at. And I knew it was £1.50, but when I took it to the cash desk, the lady couldn't find a price, and we were hunting all over the place. And I said, I'm sure it was £1.50. So I'm pleased to say that I didn't diddle the charity shop out of money. It was £1.50. Oh, and I've just removed that price to reveal the maker, Sostrine Green. That is Swedish, is it, for the Sisters Green? They have the most amazing shops. They're like an upmarket mini IKEA. And they're certainly on my list of things to do with my daughter in the run up to Christmas. She wants to go and look at all the Christmas shops inside the garden centres. And I have said that I particularly want to go to this shop, which our nearest one is Maidstone, about 20 miles away, and to see how it's been decorated for Christmas, pick up some craft supplies for Christmas. There's also an added bonus there. She might actually like it if she knows it's come from a named shop. So it's a makeup bag, cosmetics bag. And because it sort of had that zip that was at a peculiar angle, it does mean that it opens out flat and it's got lots of room in there. So it's got a little zip compartment there and the zip up there as well. So it looks like it has never been used. So it's a cuboid shape, carry handle at the top, and then what makes it open out is this diagonal zip up the side and across the bottom there. Now I'll show you what was inside. You'll know that, especially if you're a member of my Facebook group, which is Flowers Start World, and there's a link to that in the description underneath this video, or you could just go onto Facebook and search Flowers Start World. But you will know that I've just come back from a trip to Boston and New York, and I visited Macy's in Boston and I visited Macy's in New York. So lo and behold, I could just have driven an hour down the road to go to Tunbridge Wells, and I could have pretended I'd been to New York. So these decorations, I think for a charity shop, these were a little bit, it was quite a generous price on that, £1.49. I guess it's because they've got that sort of iconic look of Macy's and the New York that the price went up a little bit. But normally at charity shops, I wouldn't normally pay more than 50p for a bauble, a Christmas bauble. And if you're lucky, you may even be able to get a bag of 10 for £1. So I'm going to put those in my daughter's Christmas stocking. So I had remembered that I put them in here to stop them bouncing around, because I think that'll bring a smile to her face on Christmas morning. We did actually buy a Christmas decoration for our tree from Macy's in New York, and we'll be putting that on the tree. And I'll show it to you in an upcoming video of the things I bought when I was in America. So talking about baubles, I did buy a bag of baubles from, I think this was the British Heart Foundation, which was further down the hill towards the station, but not as far as Hooper's, which is the department store. And this was £3. I have got more than enough baubles to decorate 2 Christmas trees, but at Flower Club, in our Christmas meeting, we're going to be making table arrangements using baubles. And because I was with my 2 pals, Jan and Lisa, we've decided to split the bag up between us. So the ones in the bag are mine. Lisa's taken the one she wanted. And I've just realised that actually this is Jan's. And she didn't take it at the time because she was worried about the glitter getting damaged. And she wrapped it up in a serviette from Marks and Sparks. So I must remember to give that to you, Jan. But they're colour themed, so sort of these bronzed colours. And what we're going to do is to take off the hangers and get a platter. So quite often you'll see these large oversized platters at a charity shop. Again, if you're lucky, you'll get them for about 50p each. They probably cost about £2.50 brand new. And I know that we've got a stack of those from our previous chair of the flower club, who sadly passed away at the beginning of the year. So we'll be remembering her by using her stack of platters and bringing in Christmas baubles, and we'll be gluing these to the platter, taking out the little hook things, perhaps even making the hole in the bauble bigger by sort of carving out with a pair of scissors, and then gluing them on in an artistic way, and then adding in a few festive flowers. So goodbye, I would say. It's a goodbye, because I didn't want to use my own Christmas decorations, so I didn't want to spend loads of money on lots of baubles. So the charity shop is always a really good place to get your baubles. And I would say, if you're thinking of decluttering your Christmas arrangements to donate, you might want to think about decluttering now, so you've got time to donate them to the shop when people start, when normal people start looking for their Christmas decorations in the early weeks of December, late November. So I'm rather pleased with those, and it's a bit of a shared purchase. And then I've got a cushion cover here. I think this is brand new. It's got that feel of cloth that doesn't like it has ever been used. So this was from Bernardo's, £1.50. I do not need another cushion cover. In fact, we've got a running joke ever since I bought a green velvet cushion that had feathers in it. And the reason I'm doing this is because you can tell whether the cushions with the pads are feather filled, because they scrunch a little bit. I personally prefer a feather filled cushion rather than the acrylic ones. I find they mat down a little bit. So this has originally come, I think it was H&M. So not a fantastic make at all, but I just like the fact it was blue and white, because I'm trying to overhaul my collection of cushion covers. So this is quite big. I think it said it was 55 centimetres by 55 centimetres on the label. But instead of buying cushion covers that I like, and I know we should always buy things we like, and I do like this, I'm trying to buy my cushion covers so I've got more of a curated look. Oh, it does say 55 there. I think that probably is the quality control person was number 55. I could take that off. That goes to show it's not been washed. But the cover is 50 centimetres. I have a vast stack of pads for my for my cushion covers, and I keep them all separate because I like to wash these and then just switch up the inserts. So I'm trying to go with a more curated theme in my living room of red, white and blue. It doesn't look like I live inside a Union Jack, because I've got all shades of blue, all shades of red, and of course you've still got those things that you already have at home. So I've got the odd flash of green, and I'm looking, and I've got just some oranges as well. So not too much orange. So although I'm going red, white and blue, basically I'm trying to avoid purple, yellow, mainly orange, browns. So just to get my look to my home to be more curated, and to use the principles of flower arranging to segue into how I'm going to decorate my home. Now, the other thing I bought was this. It's a picture frame. Well, actually, it's one of these. These are quite popular. And I've not bought it for the little inscription. These are little pebbles of the drawing. So it says friends. It's not that diamonds are a girl's best friend, but it's your friends who are your diamonds, which is quite a nice sentiment, as I was going out with Jan and Lisa, so a couple of friends. But what I've bought this for is because I'm redecorating my living room. I have got two greetings cards that I want to frame. One of them is a card that was sent to us who's got a vague resemblance to our dog, and the other one's a card I bought because it has a vague resemblance to a cat that we used to have. So it has got a tiny little bit of damage there. I'm thinking it's been scratched, so I've got some of that polyfiller that's in the tub, and I could just put my finger in and smooth it out across. But what I'm going to do is I'm thinking of painting it. So I have got, I can't quite decide what colour, I've got white walls in my living room. I don't want to put white on white, trying to go with the red, white and blue. I think I've perhaps I've got enough red in the room, so I'm thinking that I may well paint the frame white. And what I particularly like about this frame, it's got a bit of width to it. So I'm able to put things on the top, and I've done that with a couple of frames already, that I've put them up to create a gallery wall. And interestingly, I've gone around a corner with my gallery wall. And then I've put, you know, those little cotton reels that I showed you last week that I was going to put little Christmas trees on. So I could have my picture frame with a picture of my loved pets inside, and then I could use the top as a surface. So I could put my little cotton reel, vintage cotton reel, with a little Christmas tree, and I could start my decorating that way. So what I'll have to do is lever up the edges with a knife or a screwdriver, take that away, I'm hoping these will just ping off, although presumably they have got quite a strong glue on, otherwise they would fall apart if you shook it. So that is my thrift haul. Oh, the other thing I did when we were there, do you remember I said I went to Hooper's, or mentioned Hooper's, the department store? We went into the Christmas shop at Hooper's, and I have shared some pictures again in the Facebook group. That's why you'll find all my pictures, but it's beautiful. You go into a Christmas shop and it just takes you away, and the scent is absolutely amazing. So with the sort of smell of Christmas on my mind, I bought some scented candles for £5.25. And although I've just said I don't really want to have orange in my colour palette, I have bought these, cinnamon and orange, and the scent on them is absolutely beautiful. I think Scent-O-Val is quite a good make of candle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my candles out. So I have had this little holder, which I got from a car boot fair. I think it was at McNaid this summer or last summer. You'll find it on my playlist of flower arranging thrift hauls. So it's a little metal container. And I've had this sitting on my kitchen window, but I have had it on another box frame. It was a bit bigger than this, but because I've got a white candle on it, and that particular frame is white as well, it's sort of disappearing into the distance. So I thought what I would do, that would fit inside, and it just gives me a flash of colour. So a little bit of flash of colour, just to, you know, blue and orange, complementary colours either side of the colour wheel. So I know they go together, but I just don't want my whole room looking orange. I just want it to look blue and red with a little bit of hint in colour every now and again. So with the Christmas season approaching, clocks have gone forward, looking out of my windows, the leaves are falling, everything is going sort of yellowy orange. So I think it's probably time to light my candle, and I can waft off in a sense of cosy hygge. So thank you so much for joining me today, and don't forget to check back next time, because I have got some fabulous magazines that I bought in America, and I thought you might like to flick through those for lots of Christmassy ideas. Right then, let's get this packed back in the box. So a bit of DIY on that. Putting the Christmas present to one side. I think I will wash that before I put it away. And then my baubles that I will be sharing with the guys. What a great day we had at Penshurst and Tunbridge Wells.